Mr. Speaker, it is with great pride that I rise this morning to share with you and my honorable colleagues an exciting new event for the annual calendar of Bermuda's young people through the Office of Youth Affairs. On January 25th and 26th of 2024, students across Bermuda's primary, middle, and senior schools levels participated in the first National Mini Youth Conference entitled Big Up Yourself, held at the Botanical Gardens. Mr. Speaker, the National Mini Youth Conference was a recommendation of the National Youth Policy Working Group, who functions to operationalize the National Youth Policy, the government's 5-year plan to develop and empower young people in Bermuda. The National Policy Working Group consists of young people from ages 14 to 30 years who work alongside government departments to make recommendations based on the 8 national youth policy goals, which are 1. Keep young people safe from harm. 2. Achieve full potential in learning, development, and education. 3. Minimize antisocial behavior. 4. Increase employment and entrepreneurship opportunities. 5. Engage youth in sport, culture, and recreation. 6. Support young people to be active and healthy. 7. Enable participation in civic engagement. 8. Encourage diversity and inclusion. Mr. Speaker, while the conference satisfied goal number 7, enabling participation in civic engagement, the title of the conference was Big Up Yourself, which aligned with goal 8, diversity and inclusion, thus providing opportunities for additional goals to be addressed. This was achieved by having students engage in sessions where they were able to explore who they are as individuals and find value in themselves so that they can advocate for themselves, while also respecting the individuality of others as they make their way through a world where careers and the future are constantly changing. Mr. Speaker, with diversity and inclusion being the overarching theme of the day, staff in the Office of Youth Affairs took this to heart by inviting students from public and private school to attend the conference. On the first day of the mini-conference, senior school students received a keynote speech presentation by the dynamic team of Spice and Fury. Mr. Speaker, Spice, Ms. Alexandria Williams, and Fury, Mr. Janari Smith, are 2 young Bermudians who studied theater and brought their unique skills back to Bermuda to energize the creative sector through music and positive messaging. They share their personal stories on transitions in their lives and send a message of respect for others while discovering the person you are becoming and laying the foundation for your career. Mr. Speaker, there were breakout room topics on unconscious biases and the way social media impacts how we see ourselves. This was presented by local actress, producer, and writer Ms. Quincy Dill. Another breakout room topic, how to advocate for yourself in a world of others, was presented by Mr. Matthew Johnson, college lecturer and poet, and local artist Mr. Carlos Santana shared on the topic, transforming your passion into a career. Mr. Speaker, these conversations are not light topics, but they are important ones reflecting the world that our young people currently live in. To ensure that all youth attending had support with any emotional or mental health needs, the team of Mayfair Wellness, led by Dr. Jana Otterbridge, was on hand to debrief with participants after sessions, as well as provide a comfortable space for release through crafts and open, supportive conversation. Mr. Speaker, the second day of the conference was the largest of the event, not only because there were more students than on the first day of the conference, but because the day went longer, and I will explain further after I give a brief description of the day's events. Mr. Speaker, primary middle school students began the day with an energizing and exciting key presentation from teacher Telly, Ms. Chantal Weller, who crafted a bespoke story for the conference entitled Gumbays in Space. This was a story of a young girl who wanted to be a Gumbay, and in her journey to achieve her goal, she was able to learn about who she was and fall deeper in love with herself, which fell right in line with the messaging of believing in who you are and going after your dreams, irrespective of where you come from. Mr. Speaker, following this rousing presentation, breakout sessions were held by Bermuda's second favorite cousin, Mr. Photogenic, and P. Derek Burgess being the first. who participated in both days of the conference, speaking to students on how to cultivate their unique voice and use it in positive ways on social media. Ms. Shayna Hollis, creative director, designer, and multidisciplinary artist, created a step-by-step guide for the students to explore a graphic design element while creating their own personal brand. Mr. Speaker, this is just a taste of what our students experienced at the conference. There were also many fun activities and games for them to partake in between sessions. And while the conference ended with a mini concert by Bermuda's own Fire Wayne, who had everyone on their feet, the day did not end there. To many a parent's surprise and appreciation, following the end of the formal conference, students were bused to one of our community centers for more fun activities and a pizza dinner until 9 p.m. Mr. Speaker, during the two-day mini youth conference, more than 160 young persons from public, private, and even schools were poured in. They were given information that provided new perspectives on the world they live in, viewpoints they can draw on to assist their future, and insights to ensure a healthy relationship with themselves. These are experiences that we want for all of our youth. Mr. Speaker, I stopped in during this two-day youth conference, and although we are speaking about it as a mini conference, it was definitely a large undertaking. Our students were greatly involved, and I believe gained a wealth of information and insight by attending. At this time, I want to thank all persons who worked diligently to provide an amazing event for Bermuda's youth. In particular, I want to recognize the team in the Office of Youth Affairs for organizing the mini conference, the Department of Parks for preparing the perfect venue at the Botanical Gardens, all inspiring young speakers, and our community partners who provided awesome prizes and giveaways. I am looking forward to the conference, Mr. Speaker, that will be hosted in July of 2024 for our youth 18 years and older who need to be inspired, encouraged, and poured into. Mr. Speaker, this government, through the activities held by the Office of Youth Affairs, is committed to providing meaningful pathways for our youth to become productive citizens who positively contribute to the quality of life for all in Bermuda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.